Hi, this is Jeff, and we're returning to George for another question. And George states that he's heard that the green pepper taste and the aroma in Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc is caused by pyrazines, methylpyrazines. But the winemaker can control how much of the green pepper element is in the wine. Can you explain, please? Yeah, we can control it. Maybe not with the amount of precision that most of us would like, but typically, for me, I found that, and this might be a reason to explain the ultra-ripe nature of California wines, and that is, it's been my experience that you can burn it out of the grape. If you let the grape get super ripe, you're more likely to have less of the methylpyrazines, or their influence on the aroma of the wine will not be as strong. And I think, honestly, that's probably one of the reasons why so many winemakers are now picking Cabernet 26, 27, 28 bricks, rather than what we used to pick at 23 and 24. The maturity of the grape seems to the level of the pyrazines influence on the wine tends to be reduced the riper the grapes get. So that's one thing. The other thing that we've done here, and that we found, and I can't explain it, is when we add oak chips to our fermenters, just an oak dust. It's shredded, toasted oak. It looks more like cigarette tobacco. To the fermentation, we have less of the veggie herbal characters, and so that is something that I'm not certain whether it's absorbing it or whether it's hiding it, masking it. I'm not really certain what the function is or what exactly is going on chemically, but I do know that it works. But I think probably the most important thing in controlling these flavors is the selection of the vineyard. And in the 1970s, the University of California, Davis, through their methods of characterizing climates, equated climatically the Salinas Valley with that of Bordeaux. And that induced a lot of folks to plant Bordeaux varieties, Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon, in the Salinas Valley, in and around Gonzales and King City, and up and down the valley. And it was a real disaster. The wines were horribly herbaceous, vegetal, smelled and tasted of bell pepper, asparagus, just very, very disappointing. And in the end, I think everybody decided that this Salinas Valley is a little too cool, and it actually has less heat than Bordeaux, and that is the reason why the wines were so laden with the herbal veggie character. So, from a winemaking perspective, I'd rather not deal with the methylpyrazines in the winery. I'd rather deal with them in the vineyard, and the way we deal with them in the vineyard is we find a vineyard that has enough heat and enough warmth and it's planted in the right spot that we don't get those components to the Cabernet and Cabernet Franc in anywhere near the same volume as we would if the grapes were grown in a cooler climate. So to be honest, I'd say that vineyard selection is probably 90% of the battle, and what we're doing in the winery to control it is really fine-tuning. So that's how we handle it, and that's how we look at it. We buy our Cabernet from a very warm region in Paso Robles, and we have very little problem with keeping the blackcurrant and cassis characters more dominant, and we have less of the olive and the tobacco flavor or tobacco leaf character along with the peppers. So that's the situation there. On the other hand, Cabernet Franc, That's part of the varietal character of Cabernet Franc. It is of Cabernet too, and a little bit of it is fine, but when it's dominated, it becomes a little overbearing. So that's really the way we control it. Vineyard selection is probably the best, but there are some things we can do here at the winery, but they're nowhere near as important as finding the right vineyard in the first place.